Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking all about bright lip products. Summer's here, and with summer always comes bright lips, and I wanted to show you guys some of my favorite bright lip products, but I didn't want to just come on here and throw like 30 lip products at you. I wanted this video to be somewhat organized. So what I did is I pretty much created 9 color categories ranging from corals to reds to oranges to pinks and kind of everything in between. And for each color category, I pulled 1 lipstick, in some categories 2 because I just couldn't choose. I hope you're gonna enjoy it. Let me know down below some of your favorite bright lip products. Let me know if you tried any of the ones that I'm showcasing today. Of course, hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed today's video and subscribe if you want to join the fam. And without further ado, let's get swatching. All right, so we're gonna start this off in the world of coral, and first, bright coral. To me, I actually find bright corals to be the hardest to wear. I find that especially really opaque bright corals to be just really unflattering. I kind of feel like they make my teeth look a little bit yellow, and I just don't feel like they just flatter my skin tone. So when I do go for a brighter coral, I do prefer more of a sheer formula just because I feel like it's a little bit softer, it's a little bit more flattering. So these two guys are 2 of my favorite sheer corals. This one is probably my ultimate favorite. It is a Gucci lipstick in the shade No More Orchids. I've spoken about this on my channel so many times. This has consistently been one of my favorite everyday lip colors. It looks like a very bright color in the tube, but like I said, it is a sheer formula. So I'll put it on so you guys can see. What's really nice about this lipstick is that it is quite buildable. That's really nice because I do find it makes them quite versatile. So you could put on just a very thin layer and you're gonna get a really subtle hint of color, or you can build it up and you're gonna get something a little bit brighter but still very wearable because it has that translucency to it. I know that wearing bright lip colors at first can be a little bit intimidating, so I think something like this is really great when you wanna just start, dipping your toes into that bright lip water and you want something just very wearable. This is perfect because it still translates as a bright lip color on the lips, but it's not a nude. So it will add that really pretty just like pop to your lips, but it's not going to be super over the top. And I have another one here that is quite similar, but it has a little bit of a different undertone. So this is the L'Oreal Color Shine lipstick in 916 Luminous Coral. If we're just talking formulas here, these are almost identical. I mean, they're very similar, and obviously the price difference is quite huge. The Luminous Shine formula from L'Oreal is just one of my favorites. I have so many of these in my collection and I wear them all the time, especially day to day. They're just so nice. This one does lean a little bit more orangey coral, whereas the other one is like a little bit more pinky coral, but still very similar vibe. So now moving on to a coral red. This is basically a coral and red hybrid, obviously. So my current favorite coral red is the NUDESTIX Magnetic Lip Plush Paint in the shade Sweet Sangria. So I'm gonna try it on first so you guys can see what it looks like, and then we'll have a little chat. There's something about this lip color that is so delicious. First of all, it has such a pretty vintagey vibe. It really brings me back to like the 50s and 60s. I feel like a coral red is really of the time. Secondly, this is actually quite a unique color. I was going through my entire lip product collection for this video, just kind of going through all of my bright shades. And when I was looking for a coral red, this was kind of like one of the only ones that had this kind of undertone. And I do find that even though this is a brighter lip color, it's still quite wearable because it has slightly muted undertones to it. So even though it's bold, it's not, again, super in your face. So if these were level 1, this is like a level 2 in bright lip world. Besides the color itself, let's kind of talk about the formula of the Magnetic Lip Plush Paints. This is such a mouthful of a name. So you're gonna notice that with all of the bright lip colors that I'm choosing today, kind of lean in one of 2 categories. They're either sheer and glossy or matte. I don't really like to mess with creamy bright lip products because I feel like you're kind of just playing with fire. For something more opaque and bright, a matte lip formula is ideal because it's just not really going to move everywhere. Matte formulas definitely tend to stay in place a lot better than creamier formulas. And creamier formulas just they'll end up somewhere on your face where you don't want it. It's just bound to happen. So that's definitely the preference, but as you guys know, with matte formulas, they can be a little bit uncomfortable and a little bit drying. So I am very particular with my matte formulas that I like, and this particular matte formula is fantastic. It's really kind of exactly what you want when it comes to a matte. This is a very moussey and lightweight texture, so it really doesn't feel heavy at all, and it is still going to give a little bit of life to your lips, because a completely flat matte can be pretty, but sometimes they can just make your lips look like a desert and super dry. So this formula does still have like a nice velvety sheen, which still makes it flattering. Ooh, one last thing I almost forgot. What's really nice about this formula from NUDESTIX is that it can be used all throughout the face. It is formulated to use on the cheeks, on the lips, and on the eyes. All right, we are moving from corals into oranges, my favorite bright lipstick category. If you've watched any of my lip product declutters, you know how much I love me my bright orange lipsticks. It's impossible for me to get rid of them. I love them so much. So let's talk pure orange. So orange, similar to coral, is kind of a tricky lip color to wear. And I know some people are a little bit hesitant to go for like a pure bright orange. And so there are definitely pure bright orange lip products that are very opaque that I really love. But again, I know that it's not everybody's cup of tea. So I wanted to show you guys one of my favorite pure orange sheer lip colors. So this is actually quite new in my life. This is from Tower 28, and it is one of their Shine On lip jellies in the shade Fire. Now, I actually asked you guys on Instagram this morning what some of your favorite brighter lip colors were, and so many of you mentioned this particular shade, which is another reason why I wanted to mention it, because this is clearly like an overall just favorite for a lot of people, and I can totally understand why. Besides the color, the formula of these Shine On jellies from Tower 28 are probably some of the best lip gloss formulas ever. I know that's a very dramatic statement, but the Tower 28 glosses really just kind of hit all of the boxes that I want hit when it comes to a lip gloss. They are really shiny, really glass-like on the lips. They're super comfortable and not sticky, and they also have some great pigmentation to them, but they're not gloopy. So it's just this perfect little formula in this little tube. So here's what it looks like. This is probably as wearable as you can get when it comes to an orange lip product. It really just gives like the slightest wash of color to the lips. Again, this is great for my bright lip product beginners when you want to just kind of jump in very slowly. Something like this is really so perfect. All right, so now moving from something sheer and very wearable to something a little bit more intense. Now let's talk about my ultimate favorite category, orange red, baby. So one of my favorite orange reds is this guy from Bite. This is the Outlast Longwear Lip Stain in the shade Orange Fizz. The color, perfection, beautiful, spicy, hot, stunning. Needless to say, this really is the perfect balance between red and orange. Because that red is in there, it grounds the orange color so much more, so it makes it just a little bit more wearable. But of course, these orangey undertones also make it a little bit more fun than a typical red. So again, this is another matte lip product. What's nice about this formula is that it is very long wearing. Like, this is essentially a stain. Once the creamy top layer of this lipstick rubs off, you will not be left with nothing. You will actually be left with a orangey red stain, and you are able to very easily reapply this without it getting like crusty or crumbly. The formula I find always stays very creamy and never drying. Okay, I actually want to show you guys here. I'm trying to take it off right now, and you can see that it leaves behind a super intense stain. It actually looks a little bit more pink than orange, but look at how even that stain is. Like, it looks like another lipstick was just living underneath this one. It's the weirdest thing. However, I would avoid wearing a lipstick like this if you do plan on switching out your look. You know, like at the end of the day, if you want to put on a nude, it may be a little bit tricky. So you gotta commit to the bright lipstick if you're gonna be putting on this one. If you ever want to mute out a really bright lip like this, you just take some of your foundation or concealer and just dab over. Quick fix. All right, so now let's talk red lips, and I have here the most perfect blood bright red lipstick that has ever existed. This is the Lisa Eldridge lipstick in Velvet Ribbon. Now, I have said this plenty of times on my channel, but the Lisa Eldridge lipsticks are like the pinnacle of good lipstick. I know that's a high praise, but I really do mean it. So you may be able to see that the texture of this lip product is kind of velvety. I feel like Lisa was one of the first, if not the first person to do this velvety lip texture on the lipstick bullet. And this particular texture on the lips truly looks like velvet. Now, even though this isn't a lipstick tube, this is a soft matte finish. So I do find that this is more long wearing than a typical creamy lipstick. And I would recommend using a lip brush with a bullet like this, because even though I'm able to get precise, I feel like I can't really get precise enough. This is really just such a beautiful classic red that does lean a little bit brighter than a typical classic red. So I feel like it does have a little bit of like a modern flair to it. Like, how expensive do my lips look right now? That's how I feel when I wear one of the Lisa Eldridge lipsticks. Like, I feel expensive. I don't know what it is about it, but there's just something very classy lady about these about these lipsticks. And so what really puts this red at the top for me is that combination of the color itself with the most amazing formula to ever come into a lipstick form. So this is my red pick, and I highly, highly recommend checking out all of the other Lisa Eldridge lipsticks. You would not be disappointed. So now moving from red into red pink, or pink red, or pinky reds. This is the Dior Stellar Shine lipstick in the shade 536. So I'm gonna apply, and then again, we'll talk about it. So this is another sheer glossy formula. So again, perfect for every day, perfect for when you wanna add something a little bit different to your lips, but you also don't wanna go too bright or too over the top. This is, again, a perfect happy medium. This gives a true popsicle stain effect, and that's what I really, really love about this. Now, to be honest, there's really not much of a difference between the Dior Stellar Lip Shines or the L'Oreal Shines or the Gucci sheer lipsticks. Like, I feel like most sheer lipsticks kind of act and sit on the lips in a very similar way. I would probably say that a lip color like this is probably one of my most worn lip colors for day to day. When I want something a little bit brighter, I typically go for something like this. I would say like 8 times out of 10. So now we're moving into the bright pinks that aren't quite for the faint of heart. They're a lot brighter, a lot more bold, but really just as gorgeous. So here is my cool toned bright pink. So this guy is from Fenty, and it is the Stunna Lip Paint in the shade Unlocked, and this guy is intense. I mean, this color's stunning. So the Fenty Stunna Lip Paints is another matte formula, but this is probably, I would say, the most drying of the ones that I've showed you guys so far, but it's still pretty good, especially for a matte. The difference between this one and the other formulas that I showed you guys is that this one does actually dry down. So you do want to make sure that you apply a nice thin layer of it. You don't want to like gloop this on, otherwise it can get a little bit uncomfortable, and I believe it does pass the kiss test. Meh, there's a little bit of transfer, but barely any. Probably the least amount out of all of the lipsticks that I'm showing you. The pigment situation on the Stunna Lip Paints are also so ideal for a brighter lip formula because it's very, very intense. I was able to get full opacity right away, which is what you want. So now moving on to my warm, very, very bright opaque pink. This is the lip color that I wore in one of my recent videos, and I got so many compliments on this lipstick. This is the Bare Minerals Bare Pro matte lipstick in the shade Hibiscus. So this is the color. As you can see, it's definitely a lot warmer compared to the Fenty Unlocked. I do kind of find that when brighter lip colors lean on the warmer side, they're a little bit more wearable, like just a touch more wearable. And I feel like the comparison between this one and Fenty Unlocked is a great example. Like Fenty Unlocked, because this is a really bright, cool tone pink, I feel like it is just a little bit more intense, whereas the warmer color is just slightly softer, even though it is equally as bright. Do you guys agree? Let me know in the comments. Anyways, besides the color, which is obviously gorgeous, this actually does remind me quite a bit of the Bite Longwear Lip Stain. They even kind of look a little bit similar in their packaging, and they have very similar, you know, like skinny bullets. Oh my god, this is pretty much the exact same component now that I'm looking at them side by side. They just have a different finish on the outside of the packaging. So, okay, that's interesting. This Bare Minerals lipstick does kind of have a nice stain-like effect, similar to the By Beauty one. After probably about like an hour of wear, especially if you're talking a lot. The Bare Minerals one does also leave a stain behind once it does fade away, so it does fade very, very evenly. You are also able to reapply it without having to like fully take it off, and it's not gonna get gross and crusty. That is it for my bright lipstick showdown. I hope you guys enjoyed it and that you found it helpful. Again, let me know in the comments what some of your favorite bright lip products are, and what's your favorite, just generally speaking, color to wear when you want to go for something a little bit brighter. As you guys know, my favorite is orangey red. Of course, hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed today's video, and subscribe if you want to join the fam, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.